You. Nope. I dealt with you. Why are you still here? I made my choices. What? Just. Fine. Fine. Well, where's my choices? I don't have a choice, do I? Fine. Yeah, no choice this time. So, what's the big project I finally had to do, you ask? Well, it's to replace this thing. This has served me quite well as an XP machine to repair tools so far, but because of having to use the splash potions and kind of like 3-minute limit on those, it's taken me roughly upwards of 10 minutes each time I want to repair all my tools, because I'm only managing 1 to 2 tools each time, well, each potion I should say. So I need something a bit faster, so I am building an Enderman farm. Simple, will you say? So why do I consider it a big project? Well, for some reason, I really love subjecting myself to big time-consuming projects, and I'm not just building an Enderman farm. So like other builds that I've made in the past, I really wanted to make this build not just be a farm stuck in the middle somewhere. So I've spent quite a long time making this build something that I want to use. It's easy to say what I'm building, but I thought I would go and we can go on a journey and I'll show you what I want to build. So we just get to the portal here and just hold up. I need to swap a few things out and get it to send us to where we want to go. This is super duper complicated scientific stuff, so bear with me. Right, let's head out. Oh, always takes a moment to get used to putting the hooves back on. So, welcome to World of Warcraft. This is another game that, well, the other game that holds a special place in my heart. I've been playing World of Warcraft since around halfway through the Wrath of the Lich King expansion way back in 2008. So, around about 17 years if my maths is correct. Yeah, one way to make you feel old, thinking about that. I've played the game a lot back in the day with a group of friends that from university, but I played the game in a much more casual manner since then, until some of the more recent expansions when me and my partner joined our current guild that we're still in today. It's probably personal bias, but our guild is full of some brilliant, quirky people, and is one of the main reasons that I still love and play this game as much as I do, because they're just a fantastic group, and being part of a great community always makes a game like this much more enjoyable. We're a very mid-level mythic raiding guild, and I'm currently in the role of the guild's raid leader. Yeah, I know. People have to deal with me telling them what to do. I would feel sorry for them too. The most recent and final patch of the latest expansion introduced the Koresh Zone, which we're in right now, and the Mana-Forge Omega Raid. These zones are a homage to and follow on from the storylines of the Ethereals, a race that we met way back in the Burning Crusade expansion. From both a visual design and encountered perspective, this raid sits up there in one of my top 3 favourite raids, along with Icecrown Citadel from Wrath of the Lich King and Castle Nathir from the Shadowlands expansion. And this raid is where I'm drawing inspiration from for the build I want to do today. It's been a fun but very stressful project trying to convert this building into Minecraft for a number of reasons. The block colour limitation in Minecraft is one of those, as we don't really have a very good colour variation in the purples and yellows. Well, at least I found. And that's kind of like the main colour themes for this build, and trying to limit my block choices to things that are usable in survival and or are not also impossible to gather in extremely large quantities in survival. Learning Axiom was another big thing for this project. I have used Axiom in the recent Moss Farm build, but I've tended to just use very limited functionality of that, from just kind of like texturing and gradient brushing. But for this build I had to use a lot of the modelling tools and kind of like shape tools and everything else around that, when it's been a very big learning experience for me. But what I've come out with is a lot of experience from that, and I think that'll show in the build that I'm doing, and it will help me in future builds. So as you can likely tell, I'm going to need a lot of materials for building this. Looking over the material list for this thing, I'm needing to collect just over 208,000 blocks. So just a few, not too much. To help me with this, Litematica does have a pretty cool feature to create a material list file of all the materials needed. So I took the created file and converted it into a CSV format so that I could then import into Google Sheets. Other spreadsheet programs are available. So I had a place to track all the materials and add some extra detail so I could figure out how many stacks of items I needed and how many shulker boxes that would be of each. With my trusty list in place, I made a start on some of the larger bulk items together first, making a start on stone, as I collected a lot of that from when I was mining out the hole for the moss farm. So I already had pretty much most of the 25 shulker boxes I needed for that in storage, and I only needed to collect a few more manually, and that contributed to ticking off the stone and stone slabs. And the site was also ticked off at that point as well, as I found some pretty large veins when mining the last of the stone, so I collected that at the same time. At my closest desert biome, there is also a badlands biome, so I went over there as my next stop to collect all the terracotta prior to dyeing it. When that was done, I hopped over to the desert biome and put down my shulker boxes and collected all of the sandstone and sand that I needed. Smell in the large amounts of sandstone and glass I needed for the build would take quite a lot of time, I figured out, so I decided to use my noggin for once and kill two birds with one stone. I know, me being smart, who'd have thought it? I had a distinct lack of bamboo and I needed a lot for the detailing on the build, so I put together a very small bamboo farm at the side of the house to gather up a ton of bamboo while I was working on a few of the items on the list. One of those, along with the sandstone smelting and the bambooing, I put together a block builder. Is it called a block builder? Well, they're called a block builder now. So I use this to quickly convert the concrete powder and push it all up into a big block that make it easy for gathering in bulk at the same time, ticking off another bulk of items on the list. Right, don't go letting Greenpeace see the next part of this video. I am in the need for a good about 12 to 15,000 blocks of wood, mostly oak, a bit of birch, bit of jungle. So I'm going to go and grab a couple more of these, craft some of these up, and then I'm going to find a forest and commit a bit of environmental damage probably. That oak was absolutely terrible to collect. I was at this for about 7 hours just getting the wood for the oak, and that was just all these boxes of the strips and the buttons. I am going to build a tree farm next time I do anything this size. The birch was fine. You know, it was done in less than an hour. The island's deforested. As I said, don't tell Greenpeace, for the love of God, and we'll be good. Just got to get the jungle now. 6 stacks of the wood should do. Should be fairly easy to do once I've found a jungle biome. I'll save you the torture of seeing me gather everything else on the list, as it is quite large and it took me well over a week to gather some of the remaining materials. One of the last big things that I did need was blaze rods, so I didn't fancy gathering up 10 stacks of them manually, so I found the spawn at a nearby fortress and got to building up a farm. Pretend you don't see the deaths on the screen right now. I don't like the nether. No, don't like blazes either. I'm keeping this on as just to rub it in the faces. I did not have fun making this farm. It was, well, you probably saw from the time lapse, I did die quite a bit. Yeah. Stupid withers, stupid blazers. Yeah, not fun in the slightest. Yeah, I didn't quite get this farm's design, really. It was very weird. I followed a tutorial online from YouTube. It was the oddness with how wide it is one wide on one way, and that just meant that the suggested place to place a lava didn't work, and they're all getting stuck here. I had to go back in, put extra lava down, and then I started working. And it's not. It works for now. I have actually got everything. Yeah, kind of have to run up here for the spawns to happen, and then you have to run back down here when you've got enough to kill them. So it's a bit hit and miss. I probably will, if I need to come back here, which I probably will, because the thing I need these for is probably something I'm going to end up using again in the future because it's a cool effect to use. So what I'll probably do is I'll pretty it up at that point, and I'll probably look at just messing around, seeing if I can do something maybe like mine carts or something to kind of like grab these as they drop down, and then kind of like cycle them back to the top so that I don't have to move and they can come to me. But as I said, I've got all my blaze rods now, and I just need to go back to the overworld, convert these into end rods, and then I believe that I have everything that I need for my build. And that is everything done. Got my end rods now, which was the last thing on my list. Pop these in there quickly, and now I need to transport all of this over to the end where I plan to build my build. This is a lot. And with the power of editing, that is done. I knew how much blocks I'd collected, obviously, with the grind for this, and seeing them in 4 double chests, but just seeing them all laid out like this is very daunting in terms of the sheer amount that I actually have in here. Most of these are all full. And yeah, I need to replace all these now. So yep. The plan for this is to build an Enderman farm. So I'm going to be building out here. So I'm going to get onto that. You guys sit back and enjoy the 3D printing time lapse that I'm about to do. And it's done. My big project, 131 shulker boxes being placed down. Done. No. That's the mana forge done. In 3, 2, 1, the grand reveal. Ba 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 ba. Look at that. Look at that! Look at how massive and awesome that is. Honestly, this is the biggest thing I've ever built in Minecraft. Probably the biggest, I don't know, but that is just phenomenal that I built this. I'm happy. Oh! You didn't see that. Nothing happened. Anyway, yep. I made a big build. Pretend I'm not an idiot and didn't fall down. But yeah, this took so long. I've spent around about 4 months. I think about 4 months on this in total now, just here and there for things. And I wasn't kidding with the size of the number of the shulker boxes I needed there. There's 131 there, and then I have all these other ones here that just have like the random bits of spares in, so probably around about 151. I did actually, when I did the original clip just before the build, when I said there was a lot of shulker boxes, I completely forgot there was another full 27 that I'd not carried over. So yeah, it's quite massive. But yeah, this is, I mean, just will fly over. This is huge. Absolutely huge. I think it's probably as big as the End Island. But yeah. I've took as much detail as I could from the game for this, and I've taken some liberties on some areas, but I've tried to keep the island roughly the same and do as much as I can. The bottom bit, actually, ignore the inside. We don't see that, so that's fine. The inside, not the inside, the bottom, the actual building itself, I think it took around 21, 22 hours to build that. That glass, whew, about 26 hours. Yeah, that's not a fun thing to do, but yeah. So I've taken, let's say, the main style from the mana forge that I've shown. I've got a little bit of area here. I've got a bit of glass here just because I know I'm an idiot. And I will fall, I will die, and not get inside properly, because I've already done this when I was building this. I flew in down here, thought, oh, I'll get in here quickly to fix something. Nope, collided with the glass. So it's going to kill me anyway. And I did lose all my tools. But yeah, so if we go in here, so I've kept the inside. I literally haven't built the inside in terms of like what the raid looks inside, because that's a massive interior. And I said I just want this to be an Enderman farm, so this is just a big old tunnel. I've got a bit of a bubble there and a drop chute to go down here. And this is the actual Enderman farm bit itself. I've changed the colours a bit inside here to match more towards kind of like what they call purple blocks. But I did try to keep the kind of like the terracottas and the bamboo styles from the outside as well. And I would have liked to have done a bit more fancier in here, but I'm very limited with what I can do in terms of this because of the Enderman. I think what I found is that there is a reason why the Enderman farms are done so far out and like there's nothing around them, is because I had an issue where these guys were landing in here, and then because they were taking damage, because there's actually blocks around them, they teleport around even though they're non-spawnable outside. So what I've had to do is, if we're just going to cheat cam to show you, I've had to waterlog this entire thing. So the entire build is hollow, and what they were doing, they were just teleporting in here, and then they were just hanging around, filling the mob cap up so they weren't spawning more on top of there. So I don't know if the water kills them straight away or if it just stops them from teleporting to it because they don't like it, but I have found that this helps them not actually come out here at all. Now, I do suspect this does reduce the spawning of these guys up here a bit, compared to a regular Enderman farm, but you've got to admit this looks a hell of a lot cooler than a regular Enderman farm. Now, one thing I did want to try out, which I never actually use, is give this a bit of a look on shaders, because I know that's what all the cool kids do on YouTube. They make shaders, they use shaders to make it look a bit even better. So I'm doing that. I've never actually installed shaders before, but I want to try this out, see what this looks like. So let's get a good old view. We'll stick these on. This is the first time I'm actually seeing this, so oh, it's doing something. Oh, it's gonna like. Oh, that looks awesome. Oh Jesus, that is absolutely looks fantastic. I would have liked that glass to look a bit more popped out with the purples, but that just floating in there with the kind of the Aurora style. Oh, that's awesome. How does it look if we fly around? Oh, that's just insane. Those end dodges really do pop out there. How does it look? Yeah, that's what I was hoping to see there, where the actual purples and the magenta glasses were a bit more in focus, but ow, I will take that. That looks really cool. But yeah, as I said, like this, I'm so happy that I built this. I'm very surprised that I built this. This is like such a step out of my comfort zone, and I really pushed myself on this one to actually build this. So as I did say, I did end up losing all my tools because I'm a moron. I came in a little too hot when I was turning around to fly in. So I need to re-enchant my stuff. So thank you all for watching the video. Always appreciated. And if I've not killed myself in the void again, I'll see you in the next time. Bye-bye.